Hello friends, today I'm going to show you how I winter sow my vegetables. And you'll need everything that's pictured here, but I'm going to start with sowing my hot peppers, my Hungarian yellow peppers, my jalapeno peppers. I'm going to be sowing my habanero peppers as well as my cayenne long stem red peppers. I'm doing serrano peppers, and last but not least, I'm doing my banana peppers, which are my favorite. So for this process, you will need to use potting soil mix. It's important not to use a seed starting mix because your veggies will be in these containers for up to a couple of months. So we want to make sure that they're getting the nutrients that they need while they're in there. I'm also using a food safe container that's clear. You will need to make sure that the sun can penetrate the container that you're using. So you see here I'm adding drainage hose to the bottom of my container. I like to put my drainage hose at the bottom side, not necessarily on the very bottom, because this allows some moisture reserve in the container, but you definitely want to make sure you have those drainage hose because you don't want your veggies to get waterlogged. So once I get all my holes at the bottom of the container, I'm then going to move to the side of the container and go halfway up, and I'm going to cut around the entire container. So I start by making a similar hole we did for the drainage, and then I use my scissors to cut all the way around. That's just easier for me. You can see I already have a glove on because I don't want to, cut my fingers or do anything. So once I get that hole started with the knife, it's just safer for me to move to the scissors. Now you'll see that I'm going to leave just a small portion of the bottom and the top connected. And this will be important and make things a lot easier in the next couple of steps. So remembering we're using potting soil, not seed starting mix. So with the potting soil, I'm going to add as much as I can to the bottom of the container. We're probably going to leave maybe about a half an inch to an inch lip at the top to give us space to actually plant our seeds, because we'll then add more soil on top of them. So I have my container filled, and I'm going to get the seeds that I'm using. I can't remember which one I'm actually using here, but we'll see you write it on the label later. I like to overseed my containers. For me, it's better for me to have too many seed starts than not enough. So you'll see I put a great amount of seeds in the container. And now I'm just covering those up and lightly tamping them down. Your last step for this to get them all started is to water them in. You want to gently water them so you don't disperse them as much as possible. You also want to make sure you water until you see the water coming out from the bottom of your container. You can barely see mine, but it did come out the bottom. This way you make sure that you have everything fully saturated. Now, remember when I talked about that lip? See how the top of my container is now just sitting perfectly on top of the bottom? That's why we left that little piece when we were cutting around the container. I'm going to use electrical tape to seal mine. Last year I tried using clear tape because I was thinking, oh, I don't want to block the sun. The clear tape did not work very well. I couldn't write on it, and it didn't stick as well. So this year we're going to try electrical tape. Electrical tape probably will give me a better bond and stay attached longer, and it's just easier to write on. And so when I use the clear tape, I then have to make a paper label, write it on there, then attach it with more clear tape. So I'm hoping, using the electrical tape will just cut out that step. And as you can see, it's very easy for me to just write my seed on there. Make sure you do write it, because once you have multiple bottles, it can easily get confused. And so we actually did our carnival bell peppers in this jar. But that's it. That's the entire step. And so you will see that I'm using a large clear container to store mine, but you can also use nothing and just put them directly on the ground. I'm using the tub just to help with moisture retention. I can fill the tub with enough water at, just enough to cover the bottom, and they're less likely to dry out. But pretty much Mother Nature does all the rest for us. It will water, the the seeds will grow for the sun. Everything you need is there. So please like, share, and subscribe